2900 top end, 100 at low end.
Yeah, you're at 2900, which is great, obviously, for for DX and stuff, but for rag chewing here, you don't want to go too wide, but you could probably go a little hair wider, maybe take it out a few clicks, but it sounds great. And how long have you had the radio? I've got a 7610, and that's my radio with knobs on it. Right now I'm using an SDR and Apache Labs, but I was kicking myself for spending the money on the 7610, which is a great radio. I loved it, but that 890 with the roofing filters and the way it does CW, I really kind of wish I bought that. How long have you had it?
I took delivery of it in January of 20. It has gone up $1,000 since I bought it, and that just seems ridiculous to me, because you can buy a radio for that amount, but it is built like a tank. That is the one thing I can say about it. The fan has never come on since I've had it. If it has, I couldn't hear it. But I know one thing, it is not a portable radio. It's all I can do to carry it up down the steps to get it into my shack here. I'm on the second floor. Took over an old bedroom, so I have to be careful with the antennas I use. If you've got a long path ground, some antennas react with that, particularly if you've got to use a tuner.
I already know the 12.
So I have a J-pole that's 10 meters and 6 meters, and then I use a 43-foot vertical for everything else. AA4AV.
Yeah, AA4AV, KD1GA. Hey, I didn't get your name. Maybe you can give me that for the log. I'm doing everything by hand right now. I've got some issues with internet, and so I'm just writing everything down before I can look everyone up. But anybody else in there copying AA4AV? Want to give them a report on his audio? He sounds real good to me.
KD2 FIU calling AA4A.
Alpha 4 Alpha Victor, and good evening, sir. Name is Addison, ADDISON, and in Hampton, Virginia.
Addison, thank you. This is George, Kilo Delta 2 Foxtrot, India uniform. I'm in the eastern part of New York City, and I love my Kenwood radios. Right now, this year one, it's an 1984 TS830S. I fully restored. Coming to you, it's barefoot, about 115 watts. Well, no big deal, 100-watt radio. And I like Kenwoods because the audio fills the room. The receive audio is just so clear. Matching MC50 microphone. Back to you, Addison.
Well, this is a Russian condenser microphone to a little preamp. Got a graphic equalizer from Yamaha and a DBX compressor limiter. Then I step it down about a 10-to-1 reduction, so I keep the good audio and don't add any processing noise. And anyway, got a little push-to-talk station I made, and I can transfer this audio back and forth between this radio and my 2-meter rig, which is the D710. And I have gotten spoiled. I don't have to get very close to this mic, so it's quite nice. George, back to you. AA4AV.
AA4A KD2FIU. And I was mentioning earlier about
not too far from November.
Name W4 dealer.
Good evening.
I think Doug will be here shortly. Is it cold up there, DJ?
Say again?
It's 4,000, 1.5 or something. Two tones. It's the same transmitter though.
KB2 UKA.
Hey Doug, what's going on?
What's up, Dom? What's up, DJ? I got you, Dom, you're 5 over. DJ, I have no idea. Probably 5 or 10, maybe 15. But you guys are sounding good. And Richard, you probably don't hear me, but how you guys doing?
I'm doing good here. Yeah, I have you just before 9. You creeped up to a 9. The band might get better. You got your amp on, right?
Yeah. The amp's always on.
VA3 KBC, I'm back. Hello, Doug.
Let's see if Art got his antenna up temporarily. Maybe he'll tie it off on the fence and be able to use it.
Yeah. And DJ, you're 20 over. How you copying me?
20 over.
All right, good. Yeah, Dom, I think we'll come up a little bit over the next... actually, I'm running... my amp is on, but the power was low. It was only 700 watts. There is 1166 KB2 UKA.
Oh, Roger. Yeah, I'm doing about 900,000 watts. And just letting it blow for you. And you're sounding good, though. My noise level's low tonight.
Yes, I'm minus 120 on the noise floor. Yeah, you're sounding good. Everyone's sounding marvelous. Let's see. Richard, if you're out there, can you copy me? KB2 UKA. Nope. I don't hear him. He doesn't hear me.
Richard, Doug was asking if you could hear him, but evidently you're not.
Did he answer you, DJ? Because I heard nothing.
No, and I'm watching the stream. I was eating. I shouldn't be. It's not proper etiquette to be talking on the microphone on when you're getting live streamed and trying to eat an apple. It doesn't sound good. It's not very nice.
Oh, come on. It's no problem here. We just got back from Manhattan. It did not rain. The rain stopped when we got there. My daughter did a 3-hour master class with a Broadway actress. She had a great time. And Amanda and Carter and I, we went to the Wax Museum. And we got something to eat, and we walked around for 3 hours, picked her up. And it only took me 1 hour and 10 minutes to get home. So the stars were aligned. There was no traffic.
So did you get a wax? Oh, no, it's not that kind of a wax.
No. No. And you wouldn't want to go to a museum of that kind of wax either. God knows what you'd see.
Oh, boy. W4 DOM NF.
Wait a minute. Do I see a bunch of facial hair on that on that guy there that's streaming?
We grow the beard in the fall and the winter. Yes, you do. Tomorrow it's getting trimmed, though. We're getting a haircut and a trim tomorrow.
Okay, I gotta turn this down because it's confusing. I'm dazed and confused at the best of time. I don't need to be dazed and confused while I'm on stream too. I used to grow a beard in the winter when I used to snowmobile, and then 1st of May I would shave it off. Generally, that's when we started planting soybeans. I'll tell you, the face was cold for the first few days, but anyhow, no, I've had a beard now. Oh, golly, 10 years or so. I've been sporting a beard, and I keep it trimmed pretty good.
Yeah, this I trimmed it about 2 weeks ago myself, but when I get the haircut, I usually have them bring it down to like a 1.5, and then I go back 3-4 weeks later and I do it again.
Oh, I got my own trimmer. I put I don't know, it was number 2 on it, so I trim my own. But I used to cut my own hair, but my cousin does it now for me, so she does a better job than what I can do.
Alrighty, yeah, so everything's good. I'll be able to play radio tomorrow morning for a pretty... Well, actually, me and the boy have to go get a haircut, but besides that, we have nowhere to be until 2 o'clock. We have to go to a birthday party, and we'll be back home, I'd say, around 5 o'clock. And DJ, the reason I don't have one of my studio lights on, I noticed when I plug the studio light in, that's why there's a shadow on my face, I get noise on the pan adapter. So it's a cheap, crappy light. I guess I need one a little bit better. But as soon as the light goes on, I get humps on the pan adapter.
Okay, well, what I did, like I have LEDs and I turn them on. There's 4 pot lights and they're very bright. You know what LEDs are like. So I ended up getting the idea from my grandson and granddaughter. They put those stripped lights, LEDs in their bedrooms all around the outside, on the ceiling around the outside. So I got them out of Amazon and I put it up there so you can change the lights. So when I am streaming, I played around with the different lights, and the light yellow seems to be the best. So there, now you look better there now. I can see you. But so that's what I ended up doing, was playing around with the different colors, and I think it's kind of the yellowish one that seems to give me the best look on the stream.
Yep, hold on 1 second. I'm going to hook up the light and watch my pan adapter. Look how flat it is right now, and you'll see when the light is on. KB2 UKA. All right, watch the pan adapter.
KC2 QMA. Good evening, Doug, and good evening, DJ.
Hello, Frank.
Oh, wow, you worked on your audio. Oh, and good evening, Dom.
Yeah, you sound different. You sound really, really good.
Yeah, I lowered my mic gain and all that, so I think I probably had initially when I started things kind of overdriven.
Yeah, no, it sounds nice and smooth.
Smooth and silky.
Roger, Roger.
So I came in right at the point where I think Doug was working on some lighting scheme for his stream. So that'll be interesting. And it's funny. I remember he painted his room black. I remember doing that when I was I think I might have been like 16 or 17, and my freaking parents flipped out because I didn't tell them that was the thing. I went and got paint and did it without them. They came home from work one day and they were like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, well, KB2 UKA. So I'm not getting interference tonight, so I'm going to leave the light on. I'm a kid at heart, John. Come on, black room. I almost painted the ceiling black.
Well, what you need now, I'm telling you, this is what you got to do. It's a little bit retro. It's a little out of, maybe, some people might say it's old school, but get yourself some glow-in-the-dark stars and, like space, like the Saturn rings and things like that, and put that on the ceiling. And then when you turn out the lights at night, maybe you even get like a black light, and that really kicks it up a notch. And then it's like you look up at the ceiling, and it's like it's like staring out into space while you're sitting in your shack.
Well, what I am going to do is behind me in the corners, I'm going to put some LED lights colored out like purples and blues, and it'll illuminate back there a nice hue, a nice color hue. I have the solar system over here in soundproof panels, and then in front of me I've got a astronaut floating in space playing an acoustic guitar, and on this wall but behind me, this black thing's just a Husky tool cabinet. So maybe I'll move it out of frame and I'll put something behind me. But yeah, I like the dark room. It's great.
All right. Well, it sounds like you're already off to the astronautical theme. So that's pretty cool. Hey, you know what you could do? I mean, I guess you guys are into this stuff. I don't do a lot of video stuff, but I know like OBS and some of those other programs have like the green screen thing, where you can superimpose a background like the weather people use. Yeah, you could you paint your walls with that, I think it's either blue or green, and then you could just generate any background you want electronically, and even video if you want. You can have a video stream, as your background of your walls and stuff.
Yeah, I could just put a green curtain. I could do a green curtain right behind me. But if I decorate the room good enough, I won't need to do that. And the black is it's a good palette, the black. And especially if I put the LED lights, I think it'll give a nice color in the background. All right, John, you're 20 over. I heard Richard in there. I think he came back. I'm wondering if he's able to copy me. Richard, do you have any copy on me? DJ, give him a holler.
Richard, Doug's calling for you.
Hey, Richard, you there?
He must have stepped away again. He must have. Oh, well. Well, I hope everyone had a great day. John, I was just telling everyone I just got back from the city. We were 48th and Broadway. My daughter had a master class with a Broadway actress. She was there for 3 hours. It was an audition workshop. My wife and son, we went to the Wax Museum. We went to go to Ripley's. I didn't realize they closed it. So the Ripley's, believe it or not, is out of business. I love that place. It's a shame that it's gone. And then we ate some street food, and we had a good time.
Well, sounds like an action-packed, classic New York experience day. How's the city? I haven't been into the actual city, and I've cut through to go to Queens a couple of times, but I haven't really spent any time in Manhattan per se. How's the city looking nowadays?
Oh well, Times Square, it's a friggin' disaster. The homeless are rampant. I have a knife on me whenever I go, especially with my family. Luckily, I haven't had to go up there for work. Most of my appointments are virtual, or they're right in the office in Huntington. It's an absolute freak show. It was getting. I was a little boy in the 80s. I was born in 1980, and we used to go into the city when I was 6, 7, and 8. And it was the tail end of the garbage was leaving. They were starting to clean it up. It's the worst I've ever seen it, John. Very bad. Somebody went to approach my son. Homeless guy had to rip my son in the other direction. It's out of control.
Wow, you actually had contact with somebody. That's crazy. Man, oh man. There was a period, in the early 2000s, late 90s, where I worked for Lehman Brothers in the media division. And that was right there at 50th Street. So I know that area very well. And it's always been very congested, high traffic, a lot of foot traffic, people, tourism as well. But man, yeah, I just see like what the city looks like just from afar, and it's like the stuff that's going on is pretty crazy. And it's not just New York; it's some of the other big cities as well. But anyway, yeah, okay. So yeah, that's good. But you got to enjoy the good stuff that New York does have to offer, which is the museums and the Broadway and the nightlife, and there is some great stuff still there. And I cut through usually just to I take the Belt Parkway, pretty much. I just bypass New York City and go to Queens and visit some of my family there, and also out in Long Island. I've got family out there too, so I was born in Long Island, so I know the whole thing.
Yeah, I love the city. I lived on 3rd and 11th. We're live streaming, Jill. You're on camera. Right here, hold on. Right there. There you are. Say hi to everyone.
Hola.
I was telling them about your day in the city today. So, yeah, we had a good time. We love the city. Dominic, why don't you pick it up?
No, I'm just listening to you guys reminisce. I've taken the Parkway. I've hung out in Woodhaven. I've hung out in Brooklyn, Ozone Park, Howard Beach. Yeah, I've been around. It was many moons ago. The last time I was up there, it was all different.
Hey, Dom. I used to live in Woodhaven with my wife. At the time, was my girlfriend. And we lived in Woodhaven, not far from Park Lane there, Park Lane South, and Woodhaven Boulevard, not too far from Howard Beach. I grew up in Queens. I lived in Whitestone. I lived in Bayside. So yeah, I remember all of that. I miss Queens. I miss the good old days there. There's some old memories there, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, I used to hang out on 88th Street and then down further where the Rock was. But 88th Street and up by the Dome. You remember the Dome?
Yep.
1, 2.
I was right across the street from the Forest Park band shell.
Okay. We probably crossed paths plenty of times.
Yeah, I bet. I remember the Vincents. Now, if you remember the Vincents in Howard Beach, although the story is they pretty much supposedly copied the Vincents in Little Italy in Manhattan. But I have to say, in my personal opinion, after eating at both Vincents, the old Vincents in Howard Beach was actually better.
Hey, on Howard Beach, I don't know if you were on CB back in the day, but if you were on CB back in the day, do you remember the one guy that was a real electronic nut? He had built a door to his room with electromagnets to have a bar slide across. He was a CB fanatic.
No, I don't remember that. I kind of sort of bypassed the whole CB thing, but that sounds pretty crazy.
Wait, what did he do, Dom?
And then, we had some good times. I used to ride. A friend of mine, he used to do tow trucks when we used to chase, and I was the kid with the scanner.
Hey, Dom, what did the guy in Howard Beach do?
I don't remember his name or his handle, but he was on the CB, and there was a bunch of us on at the time, but I can't remember. I remember handles. I can't remember names. I don't remember his handle though. He lived on Howard Beach, and he used to tell us about all the electronic stuff that he was working on. And I went to his house one time, and he showed me his room, and you have to turn this. It looked like
nice,
remember the old alarm keys, the round ones. He had one of those on the door next to the door frame, and you turn that, and you could hear this big electromagnet energize and pull a bolt across. It was actually a quarter-inch piece of steel, about 2 inches in width, and I don't know, about 2 feet long. And he had opened up the wall on the inside to hook that all up. So whenever he locked the room, there would be this big bolt that would come across the door to the other side. And he used to brag about it. And I went over there, I wanted to see it, and I did. I've seen it.
That's crazy. So I'm picturing one of those short, stubby, round keys with the circular key. I'm wondering if that's what it was. That's nuts. Yeah, I didn't know anyone in Howard Beach or Ozone. I was too young. But I knew a bunch of crazy CB guys like around the block from me, and oh my God, this house next to my school, this guy was a CBer, but then he became a ham, and he had a huge cubicle quad on what I think was. I try to picture it because I was always intrigued with what was on this tower. The tower wasn't that high off the ground. It must have been about 30 feet up, and it was either an EME array or a cubicle quad. I'm almost thinking it was EME.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I used to sport a Moonraker 4 back in the day when I lived on Long Island in Mastic Beach. Yeah, those were the times, I gotta tell you. Yeah, there was a lot of CB. Oh, also, I don't know if you guys remember. Do you remember in Ozone Park? Anybody remember Ozone Park in Numero Uno, the Italian restaurant?
I'm sure my cousins know it, who lived there all their lives until about 2 years ago they moved out to the island. But no, I just remember Fuddruckers.
That, Dominic, the tower that Scott's got from my neighbor Gary, a friend of mine, he used to have a Moonraker 4 on it, and that was a big antenna for CB back in the day. So that tower's been around for a long time.
Oh, yeah. When I got my ham license, I converted that thing to 10 meters, and I use it for strictly horizontal. And then I don't know what happened to it. I don't even know what happened to the aluminum. It's gone now.
Hey, DJ, I have your stream up on my stream.
I see that. That looks pretty cool.
I'm going to step out back for a minute, guys. I'll be right back to see if this dog's been doing great, by the way. He's getting regular now.
Matt.
And I'm curious to see if Art's going to get on. He could maybe rope up to the fence tonight and get on the air at least.
I just did that. N4QNT.
Oh, 30 over, man. Sounding good. I'll be right back. All the guys are in here.
Oh, Art, good to hear you, brother. I wasn't looking at the meter, but I think you're at least 15 over. How you doing?
Hey, hello, Doug. I think John, Dom, BJ, maybe missed us a few, but just a quick deployment. I'm doing a 9-to-1 onion, 127 foot. The highest spot on that's going up about 60 feet to one tree that's still up. And then 28-foot counterpoise on the other side. Just got it off the ground about 5 feet to a fence post. And it tunes up everywhere. It's unreal. I'm so happy with this. The great thing is, Doug, it's kind of a blessing because I've been wanting to put this up for a long time to have it as a second antenna, just for whatever, maybe even diversity. And now I'll get the other one up, and I'll. So I guess this is working pretty good. It's about a kilowatt into a 9-to-1 onion.
Yeah, well, you're 5 over, peaking 10 over. I hear you just fine. And all right, so you're going to have this, and it would probably be great diversity. And then you're going to deploy the new doublet then, correct?
And for QNT, yes, exactly. So one tree is still good. I can still utilize my on one side. The other side, I'm going to end up with a DX Engineering. They have a 46-foot, 3-inch base fiberglass mass. It's pretty rugged. And and I can put that on the fence post where the tree used to be, and just push that up there with a marine pulley and just use that for one leg. That should be fine.
16 here, Art. You peaked 20 at a couple times.
Yeah, almost 20 here, Art. Good evening.
Good evening, guys. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, it's good that you're on the air, man. It's good. What a friggin' time for that to happen before the G2 gets there. So I'm glad you have something. And you sound great. I hear you just fine.
Yeah, I think pretty close to John's setup. John, are you using a 9-to-1 onion? I'm trying to remember. You're sloper, or is it 49-to-1? That's right.
Yeah, I think mine's 49-to-1, and it's not the best scenario, but it's working. I've got the low point at about I'm going to say about 10 to 12 feet, which is pretty low, and there's a ground rod at that point. And then the wire itself goes all the way out to a tree, and it gets to about 45 feet. Would be probably my best guess, and that's it, and it works pretty good. I get about I would say, just being conservative, I get a 2-to-1 across all bands. 2-to-1 or less, I should say. And honestly, it's most of the time it's less than 2-to-1. It's probably more like 1.5-to-1 across most of the bands.
Ah, fantastic. Yeah, very similar here. Instead of the auto activated and the PALSTAR, I just want manual or bypass actually, and just jumped around, and everything averaged between like 157. The highest was like 2 point something, but it tunes it right out, of course. So the onion, I guess, it's tunable and it makes it a nice multi-band. All right, well, cool. I appreciate it. I need to get some dinner. I hate for the quick I just wanted to test it. Hooked up the coax. I haven't used coax in a long time. It's so odd. Well, as far as one coax. This is weird, but anyway, looking good here. All right, 7-3 guys. We'll be back, and I appreciate the quick report. N4QNT back on the air.
All right, peace.
Hey, it sounds like I must have missed a part of the story here. Did something happen to Art's main antenna?
Yeah, KBC bottom of the hour.
Yeah, bad storm yesterday. I'll send you the picture.
He killed a tree.
Oh man, jeez, that it's like it's happening to all of us now. Now you got Doug, you got me, and now you got Art.
Well, I haven't had. What's scaring me is last time this happened, who had the lightning strike? DJ, Frank. Was there a third person, or was it just the two of you?
It was just Frank and myself.
All right, I thought it happened in threes, and I thought there was going to be a third tree to go down, because so far we got John and Art.
Oh, and Don. I think Don got hit by lightning.
Don did, but I'm not going to count that because that was further past the time. DJ and Frank got hit within like days of each other, right?
That's right, last year. I got my radio fixed, but he had to get a new one.
Yep, I remember. Oh, boy. Well, Art, glad you, I don't know if you signed. That mast will work great. I looked at them. Just strap it to the fence posts, and that'll be perfect.
I appreciate it, Doug. And Don, this thing's pointing south, I guess southeast, so I don't know. It's just the only tree that I can end up with, but at least it's up in the air.
Yeah, you're about 30 over. You're not doing bad at all.
Yeah, seeing tunes everywhere. It's amazing. So the auto PALSTAR is eating it up. So good stuff. All right, I'm on the air, and we'll be back. I'm going to get some dinner, and at least I'll have something to hook up to the G2 Monday. All right, N4QNT. We'll be back.
All right, Art. I got to text my wife. I'm going to eat dinner, too, and then I'll probably come back. We'll talk to you later.
Hey, 7-3 Art, have a good evening.
All right, 7-3. I'm hopefully finish up. I'll probably hopefully be on about 8:15, 8:30. So we'll catch you guys later if anybody's around. And for QNT. Okie dokie.
All right.
I went on strike today. I said to my wife, it's your turn to make supper. So she put a roast in the oven. We had mashed potatoes, green beans, and gravy. Boy, was it good. So just wanted to make sure she knew still how to cook because I've been doing it all along. And instead of using the griddle, we just did it in the oven there with that roast beef. Oh, man, it was good.
Hey, DJ, this guy Perry, how do you say his name?
Oh, Pierre Polyev?
Yeah, he's picking up some ground and he's getting heard all around the world now. And I'm seeing a lot of stuff about this guy. I think I'm starting to like him.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what conservatives need to do. Now, I'm still a People's Party of Canada member, Maxime Bernier, but we'll see if what needs to happen is that Singh, the NDP, they need to stop with the backing the Liberals so that they'll don't have a majority, and then there can be non-confidence vote, and let's have an election and get rid of that son of a bitch, that Trudeau, because he's nothing but a Marxist, communist, dictatorship-loving tyrant and a narcissistic, pathological liar. He's done great harm to our country, Canada, and he's done harm all around the world. Everybody's just looking at him, and he's just laughed at. They don't even want to have anything to do with him. So we need to get rid of this guy, but I want him still there in so we can have an election. I don't want him to resign and somebody else take his place. I want him to lose in the next election, and that's not supposed to happen until 2025. But if there's a non-confidence vote, then they'll have to call an election. So I'm hoping that's what happens.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt. I'm gonna go eat dinner. I'll be back, I don't know, around 8:15 also, maybe 8. KB2 UKA.
Okay, Doug, enjoy your dinner.
All right, Doug, see you later.
7-3, Doug.
Oh, it's not goodbye. It's just see you later.
Let's get up there and join with that guy. It's like that guy's your Trump.
Well, the problem is he didn't say anything. The Conservative Party of Canada, went along with the lockdowns and everything else. They didn't support the truckers or anything till the very, very end. So that's kind of left a sour taste in my mouth with them still. So Maxime Bernier, the People's Party of Canada leader, he's been right off the bat. Everything, the lockdowns shouldn't have happened. The vaccine, that they shouldn't have been mandated. Everything that we believe in is what he's been saying. Now, the Conservatives are starting to kind of get on board, but still, I'm just hesitant on what they'll do if and when they do get into power.
Right. Hang on 1 second. Penny's doing something on a computer. She needs help. I'll be right back.
So DJ, two questions. Is it true that it sounds like Trudeau may resign? That would be my first question, because that's what I'm, reading in the propaganda and information here. And the other question is, and who is the other candidate that you're talking about that I'm just not familiar, but that you're talking about? And if you could, I'd be interested if you sent me maybe a link to some of the information. I'm curious about that.
Maxime Bernier was a Conservative Party of Canada member, ran for the leadership, and I just forget what this conservative. They did a bunch of hocus pocus stuff, and they got I can't even remember his name. O'Toole in there, and that guy was a tool. He was not very good at all. So anyhow, Maxim decided to start his own party, and that's when he came up with the People's Party of Canada. And we've met him, got pictures. I posted on Signal pictures with him, and I can send some stuff off for you. But he's Well, let me just send it to you, and then you can see yourself. But everything that he, his policies and that, I'm in agreement with. So, let's cut back on people coming into the country. Let's kind of figure out who these people are, and maybe just stop some of this stuff that's going on here. Now we've got a lot of riots going on, and they're protesting and that because of what's happened with Gaza, the Palestinians and the Israelis and that. So there's a lot of that crap going on, and we just need to maybe cut back, curtail a little bit of the people coming into this country. We don't even have housing, so that's one of the things. Get rid of CBC. That's a big thing. Now, Pierre Poilievre says that he'll cut the CBC budget. Well, they should be just cut altogether. And let me just find the link for it, and I'll put it on. You're on Signal, right?
I'm not on Signal at the moment, but I'm good on QRZ. You could just shoot me an email there. It's my call at Comcast.
I think.
Okay, well that's interesting, and it's funny because
folder anyhow.
Robert Kennedy Jr. He left the Democratic Party. It's the craziest thing. The most notable name in the world of Democrat politics in America is the Kennedy name. I mean, come on, it's synonymous, right? Regardless of whether you like them or not. I mean, just the fact that the name itself is famous in the Democrat Party, it almost is like the representation of the party, right? Or at least it was. And the one last Kennedy left. He left the party, and that should say to Democrats, I think that should say people that are old enough to know what's going on. I guess maybe if you're really young, you might not know, but if you realize, wow, when the most famous Democrat in the Democratic Party leaves the party, that means there's something seriously wrong with the Democratic Party. And so I thought that was interesting. Third party. We got a third party candidate running here, and it sounds like that's similar to what you've got going on there.
Well, they're all so damn corrupt, it's sickening. The Liberals, the NDP Liberals, especially in Canada here, you have the same with the Democrats. Even the Republicans, they're all in cahoots with each other. It is so corrupt. How do they become multimillionaires on $140,000 a year salary? Anyhow, okay, subject. I don't put anything in the subject. I'll just put paste, and I'll send this off to you. But it's all corrupt. They're evil and they're corrupt, and there's no accountability. They can get away with everything, anything and everything, and there's no repercussion.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of gotten to the point where it's becoming so obvious that I think a lot of Americans are starting to realize what's going on. There's still a lot of dummies. There's going to be a whole bunch of sheep that just go along with the masses and don't really know what's going on. But I think there's sort of an awakening happening to a degree. The question is, how bad does it get before it gets better? And hopefully we don't let it get so bad that it's it's unbearable. But the main thing we got to do right now, I think the most important thing for just the North American hemisphere, is just we've got to get out of all this war. We've got to get out of this war stuff. That this isn't good for the world, but it's certainly not good for our continent. We're not going to be able to handle, China, Russia, Iran. I mean, it's just whatever. We're just not going to be able to handle it at this point. As it is, our defenses have already been weakened through neglect and incompetence, and these other countries around the world, they're all ripping and roaring and raving to go. So, we're kind of screwed right now if anything happens.
John, give me a call again.
Kilo Charlie 2 Quebec Mike Alpha. I've been IDing through CW most of the time, but that was my, as they say in the old way, my phone ID.
Frank, not John. Frank, right?
It's John.
Okay, yeah, John. Yeah, I get you two mixed up. Frank hasn't been on for a while, but yeah, KC2QMA. There we go. There and send.
Yeah, I haven't heard much of Frank. He's been okay? Have you guys heard him?
I don't know. Any of you other guys here?
No? Okay.
Oh, yeah, there you go. So that should give you some information.
Well, in summary, like I said, I think there is some kind of awakening. I think in our country, even a lot of the Democrat voters here, not all of them, but a lot of them are starting to go, hey, wait a second. I was told that it was going to be like this, and it turned out like that. Things did not get better at all. Things got a lot worse. And this is the whole thing. It's like whether you like Trump or not, if you're able to just like disconnect your emotions for a moment from the whole thing, like your hatred of Trump or whatever, you got to admit when he was in power and he was in office, things were a lot more stable. Does that mean he's a perfect guy? No, but compare it to where things are now. It's like the frickin' world is on fire, and the Bidens are running like a money-making laundering scheme and selling out our secrets. I mean, it's just like unbelievable what's going on, and the media is totally bought by the government, just like the CBC. It's unbelievable what's going on, and only a small, a fraction of the population knows that. I think the rest just, tune into Rachel Maddow and think that's exactly how the world is. KC2QMA.
Yeah, Rachel Mad Cow. Well, somebody else pick it up. I am live streaming now too, John. So, well, if you want to watch it or not, doesn't matter. But it is live stream, so it'll be saved on YouTube.
All right. Hey Dom, did you make it back? I know he said he had to step away for something.
I took the dog out.
Oh, okay. I wonder how his dog's doing. It's been a day or so since I've asked him about it.
It's getting better. There's the non-mating call.
I just turn Pure Signal on and get up and go. I don't even bother. I don't even hit the Pure Signal. It takes longer though. I will say that it takes longer for it to kind of sync up. But once it syncs up, it seems like it's working. I'm using the coupler that Richard sent me, which is the oh my God, now I'm spacing out. What is the name of the coupler? It is Clean RF. And it seems like it's working fine. There's a knob to adjust the gain for the feedback. I don't see any difference. When I turn it all the way one way or the other way, it seems to still work, but I don't see any difference in the feedback. So I kind of set it somewhere in the middle, and I'm getting about 150 on average on the the little green bars down at the bottom. And my SATT is saying it's 19.
Okay, mine, my SAT is 16 and 161. The only reason I two-tone is to make sure that Pure Signal is kicked in, but I also check the amp with it too. The load, I have to make sure it's where it needs to be. So with the two LED lights, the green in the middle and then the amber on each side. So that's why I do the two-tone, just to kind of just touch it up a little bit. But other than that, that's really one of the only reasons I do it, and just make sure everything is copacetic.
Yeah, I actually think tuning with the two-tone allows you to get a more precise, fine tune than just doing a regular carrier, just dropping a carrier. That's just the way it seems to work. I don't know if you'll agree, but traditionally, you would hit the tune button, and which is essentially like dropping a full, 100-watt carrier. And that works fine, But I think when you do the two-tone, it seems like it gives you just that little bit extra precision where you can fine-tune your tuning. That's just what I've noticed, just over dealing with the pure signal thing.
Yeah, I know. When I use pure signal, my tuning load is off. I have to adjust it just a little wee bit from just the regular tune.
Yeah, and I imagine that little bit of difference makes it just a little bit more perfect, where it's just perfectly in tune, where everything is balanced and, you've got, I guess everything is optimized.
Try to. About 500 watts, 550 and around there. And then the load, the green light is on and the ambers are flashing left and right between the two. So she's right where it should be.
I notice mine it seems to run, it's green all the time, which according to what I've read is good, it's green. And it's running, I'm just going to say on average 150. I haven't messed with the knob a lot, but it seems like, I'm sure if I mess with it, I might be able to get it to go up or down a little bit. But it seems like 150 is the average that I seems to get. But it stays in the green and it's consistent. So, hey, if it's working, that's good. I figured if it's got pure signal, I certainly want to make use of it, because that's the whole point of having it. And why not have, the cleanest signal possible?
Exactly. I see somebody two-toning down below. There's somebody two-toned here. So let's just see if there's anybody else wants to join us. VA3 KBC.
Maybe Jeff or Dwayne.
I know I believe Richard was in at the same time I came in.
Yeah, I have trouble hearing Richard from here for some reason. I don't know why. But I do have to sometimes go to a web SDR to hear him.
Of course, it is Saturday night, so guys may be doing other things with their wives or gone out to dinner or a show or something, so they may not be on the radio tonight.
Well, I've had the G2 radio now, I guess, I'm going to say about 2 months. I think that's about right. And so far, I would say for the majority of that 2 months, it's been on 24 hours a day. And it hasn't crashed or shut down or done some weird, stupid crap like that where you had to totally start the radio over or something like that. Since I've gotten it, they've updated Thetis, and I believe they've updated the firmware. Yeah, they updated the firmware for the radio twice. So that's a lot of progress in a short time. So I'm pretty impressed. I mean, I compare that to my experience with the Flex radio, just in general. And, with Flex, it would take them months to get around to fixing something, and, you'd just sit there with a radio that didn't quite work right. So I'm glad to see now that these these new models are out that the guys are really working hard, and it's a volunteer thing. That's the thing that blows my mind too. These people aren't even really technically being paid. So the fact that they're willing to put in so much of their effort and time for free shows that certainly on one hand it's passion, that they're passionate about it, and it's good for the community. That's the other part. It's good for us operators.
Well, everything doesn't have to be involved being monetarily paid. The pride in doing something like that. It's fun for them. It's a hobby, I guess, and that's what they enjoy doing. Now, apparently, Doug, that does repairs on the Anons here in North America, in Arkansas. There, he also does the software with Richie. So there's a few guys that really know their stuff, and with what they've done with the Thetis and how we can customize our Anons, each individual one is, guys, there's so many things you can do with these things to make them look different and operate, and the audio, like I'm just running the inboard gear. I don't have any outboard gear, just a CFC 10-band parametric equalizer and a CFC and a good microphone. I have the RE27 here, but there's this thing here plays very well. I get a lot of good audio reports, so I just love this thing. I would never go back to an analog radio by any means.
Oh yeah. There's so many things on multiple levels. As we get older, I know for me, my vision is not as good as it used to be, so I kind of need things to be bigger for me to see them, operate them better. And so, like with the SDR radio, like in my case, I've got a 47-inch monitor as my. It's 4K. So it's very high resolution. I mean, just as an example, let me just give you the number here. My Thetis, if I run it in full screen, is 2560 by 1377 in screen size, and it looks beautiful. It looks crisp. It looks clean. I can read all the fonts easily. I couldn't do that with a small radio anymore, like on the table. I'd have to put on my glasses, which is fine. I'd have to put on my glasses. I'd have to lean forward, look at the front panel. I'd have to make sure that there's enough light that I can see the writing on the front panel. Whereas with the SDR, because it's on a screen, everything's lit up. So, I mean, just on the visual part, there's that aspect. And then, of course, on receive and transmit, it's worlds above a super heterodyne radio. It's not to say that super heterodyne radios aren't great and that they didn't get to a point in technology where they were wonderful. That's true. But SDR, once it goes digital, where you're taking the RF signal from the airwaves and you're turning it right into digital information. Once you turn it into digital information, it's like clay. You can do anything with it. You can analyze it. You can process it. You can digitize it. You can, there's so much you can do with it. And once it's in that, once you have that, you can, noise reduction, noise blanker, getting rid of heterodynes on the band, easy. Now you're getting into things like the new voice squelch feature, where it actually detects human speech, and it can differentiate between noises and human speech. And so now it doesn't just trigger the squelch on any old signal; it triggers the squelch on a human voice. This is what we're talking about. Once you go digital and anything's possible because it's like clay. You could do anything with that digital information. KC2QMA.
Well, what I like about the Anon here as well is the tabs. Like there's a setup, memory, wave, equalizer, but you go to setup and you have all the tabs and go through there. You don't have all these menus you have to read and then, C1 and then B2 and all this crap. It's so much easier to navigate. There's another feature that I like. My Yaesu 2-meter rig. That thing is a nightmare to program. Holy mackerel. You can't find it in the manual. You're looking. Finally, I just YouTubed it and watched a couple of YouTubes on it to program it. Finally got that sorted out. But, the Yaesu, they're heavy into the menus, and to me, that's a pain in the butt. So, like I said, with the Anon, there's so much simpler and I find more user friendly. So, but the one thing about the Flex, they are more plug and play than the Anon. There's a lot more to setting the Anon up, and I think there's a lot of help out there. If a guy who gets Anon, there is a lot of help out there. There's a lot of people that'll give you a hand to get yours all set up and that. So anyhow, VA3 KBC at the top of the hour.
KC2 QMA.
I'll be a Ford dealer. I'm back.
All right, you're back. Well, like I said, I would say, I've been through all the major SDR radios at this point. And I've mentioned this before, although I did have an 8000 DLE when it first came out. I only kept it for a few weeks because at that time, all the Anons were on what they called Protocol 1. And Protocol 1 was pretty rough. You really had to have things really optimized to get it to really work. And I guess I just didn't have the patience for it at the time. Of course, now in hindsight, had I held on to that radio and waited, eventually they would have come up with Protocol 2, which they did, and I could have updated the radio and blah, 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 and I would have probably enjoyed that radio. Be that as it may, I abandoned that radio at the time, and I went with Flex. And I went through a couple of Flexes. I had the 6500, the 6600, and the 6600M. And, when they were working, they weren't bad. And yet, like you said, DJ, they were also very plug and play. For the remote thing, they definitely had that part of it down. That's their special sauce, is the thin client. That's the thing that makes the Flex special. But they have a lot of downfalls that outweigh their positives, in my opinion. And then there's the Expert radio, which I've had. I have the Sun SDR 2DX and the MB1, and they're good radios, no question about it. But at this point, I can't keep all of them. So, I've got both of the Apaches up for sale. I'm sorry, I have both of the Experts up for sale, the MB1 and the 2DX. I figure whichever one sells, I'll just keep the other one. I'm going to probably keep one of them. I just haven't decided which one I'm going to keep. If I'll keep the MB1, which is cool, or if I should keep the 2DX. But I figured I'll keep that because that's an evolving product too. They're still developing that software, so I'm still curious about that. Anyway, there I go, rambling on again. KC2 QMA.
That's Dominic in.
I double with somebody. Who was it?
Probably me. I should let Dominic have it.
And 4 p.m. November 4th, big first spot.
All right, DJ. Yeah, hello, Darren.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. I just turned on the radio. I'll get no fun week. I got one more flight simulator to do tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock in Denver time. Is my...
All right. Hey, I think your app kicked out halfway through, but I heard what you said. Well, good luck with that.
Okay, yeah, I don't know why. I assumed that it was good, but yeah. So I gotta check my tomorrow, and yeah, I think I know what's going on. I feel good about it, so hopefully, I pass. People are telling me to check right about an hour and a half, and they said it's a lot easier than the training that I've been doing for the last week. So it all comes together. Over.
Oh, yeah. Let me see if the other guys are hearing you. DJ, you hearing down?
No, I know he's in there, but that's it.
What about you, John?
Yeah, just barely hear him. I hear him come up once in a while, but then he just dips down into the noise for me. Although I have a pretty good amount of noise here.
What are you using, Darren?
Yeah, I'm using the amplifier, 1,000 watts, the RF2KS, and the double VooDoo for 80 meters. So I'm not sure. I didn't really hear DJ, but I heard John. I hear John okay, over.
Oh, Roger. Maybe it's the band. Everything all right with your antenna?
Yeah, it's fine. I haven't put it on in a week, so I tuned on 20 meters. It went down low, and here I am. I'm tuning in, and it's showing 1.03. I'm not sure why it takes off on the other side. It's the highest that we are. But everything you could hear at the end, and I'm driving it only with 19 watts.
All right. And your internet might be a little slow. You chopped twice, but not too bad.
Yeah, that's how it is when everyone in the hotel uses the internet. Okay, I'll let you guys look. I'm going to find something to eat here in the hotel room. This is N4 VFR. We're remote controlled from Denver.
All right. He's going on the side. It's N4 VFR. Remote control from Denver. Hey, you guys can take it up. I'm listening.
Well, I'm kind of talked out.
What?
I was up early again this morning, 5:30.
Yeah, I've been getting up around 5 myself. Yeah, Ian almost pissed off at Biden, man. She hates the fact that he's supporting Israel. She is so pissed. I really hope she steps over the line where we can kick her out of office forever.
Well, Toronto's dealing with a lot of, all the different cities are all having these protests, and that these people are animals as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. You know, it had to be planned. If we find out who it is.
It's Jill Biden running the show.
Well, I'm sure she's probably the trainer and all of this. It's more than one person. I think it's like a quorum of 12. It includes Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Adam Schiff, the Chinese spy girlfriend guy, Eric Sola, whatever his name is, and probably Obama and a couple of cronies from that administration. I really think it's a concerted effort by a group of people, and they have just the right people in the right places where they got their strings on everything.
Yeah, it's a pretty dark time in our a lot of our country's government's politics, certainly North America, but around the world, it's not good. It's very authoritarian, I guess, is the best way to put it.
KB2 UKA, I'm back.
Finding out in England how what's going on and how they've taken over, and I think a lot of the other countries as well. How was Din Din?
Oh boy, it was amazing. She made rigatoni pie. So she boils rigatoni, she strains it, she then fills all the rigatoni with cheese, and then layers them in a circular pan, in a pie pan, and then coats it in more cheese and sauce and ground beef, and then more cheese, and then she bakes it. And I had that. I had a Gatorade, and then I topped it off with some delicious pumpkin pie.
Mmm.
Ooh, pumpkin pie.
With Cool Whip?
No Cool Whip. She bought the pumpkin pie like 3 days ago, and no one's opened it yet. So when everyone left the kitchen, I ate 2 huge slices with my hand.
Yeah, but you work out every morning, so you can afford to eat that.
I'll be at the gym at 5:50 on Monday morning.
Hey, why don't you set up a gym there in the one of the corners of the shack? Unless you need something like something serious, like an Olympic-sized swimming pool or something.
No. We do have a Peloton, which on mornings that I don't want to go to the gym, I will be utilizing that again. But no, I don't have any weights here. I do weights. I do a different muscle every day. Like Monday, I'll do chest. Tuesday, I'll do biceps and triceps. Usually shoulders on Wednesday. Then back on Thursday and legs on Friday. And then I take Saturday and Sunday off. But last week, I only made it to the gym one day. I was very, very tired and wanted to sleep. So this week, we should be back 4 to 5 days. Do you guys hear that light CW?
I do.
Yeah, nothing here.
Yeah, it's probably at, I'd say maybe it's 50 to around 100 hertz. It's right there.
You know, I can just barely see it in my waterfall, but I actually don't hear it. It's barely there.
Yeah, it's going. It's very fast CW, very, very fast, and it's a carrier.
Rick was N8SDR. Rick was texting me, and he says that's a spur, like a harmonic from 160. He thinks. So yeah, that's crazy. I could see it vaguely in the in the waterfall. I don't see it in the pan adapter, but I'd see it in the waterfall, and yeah, it's just very faint, very faint.
Yeah, I see it here too, John.
Oh, that's crazy. So then that's guys on 160 doing CW.
I'm going to check 160. If you guys want to watch the stream, I'll go check 160.
All right.
Oh, I know that voice.
Row 1-2, N8SDR.
Rick?
Yes.
Evening.
Good evening.
That's a nice 4K pocket of audio there, Rick.
Why, thank you, Doug.
Man, I get this line noise once in a while, and although the noise blanket takes out most of it. Sometimes it's just it's unbearable. But hopefully it doesn't get any worse.
Well, I'd say propagation is not as great on 80 tonight as it's been the last few weeks. Rick, you're S8, but I hear you fine. John, you're like 20 over. You're normally 30 over. So I don't know if you guys are noticing that as well.
You're S7 here, Doug.
Yeah, you're 7 to 8. So that's odd. But everyone seems a little lighter tonight to me.
Well, you're bumping 5 over to 10 over S9 here at times. Sometimes you're a little lower, sometimes you're a little higher.
Yeah, you too. You're 5 to 10 over that whole transmission.
You know, I was just thinking of something. You know, a bunch of us on frequency have had some kind of, I don't know if I'd say catastrophic, but, some kind of crappy event that took place. A tree came down, or wind took down a tower, or a lightning strike. It kind of almost does kind of bring in the concept of, maybe having special insurance for all the radio equipment comes into play. Because I could say for sure, if any of those things happen, you lose a tower or mega lightning strike or something, the insurance is definitely going to come in handy.
You know what? I'm going to get it. It's probably so inexpensive. I bet it's like $200 a year.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, that's not, I guess you'd have to read the fine print, but, if we've got a fair amount of investment in the equipment. There are people that have way more than we do. I certainly know that for, with people that have the like DJ's got a big tower, setup investment. So, all that stuff, you definitely want to insure it if something happens.
Well, John, when I went with Allstate because my neighbor was, she was the agent, or whatever you want to call it. And I asked, I said, is my tower, my beam, everything insured? She said, yes. My outbuildings are as well. And I figured what the rider is, it was peanuts. So, yeah, you may want to look into that.
Yeah, I've been told by other hams that for the most part, your homeowners should cover almost anything related to the radio. I guess there's probably some special circumstances, but my understanding is if you've got a good quality homeowner's insurance policy, it should be, it should cover a lightning strike on your home electronics, and if that's the case, that would include your ham radio equipment. I guess the big question is what's your deductible, right? So that's kind of what it's going to come down to, is what your deductible deal is with your policy.
Yeah, I think mine was $500. So, I had no issue with Allstate whatsoever. Other than it took, I think it was about 3 or 4 weeks before I finally got a response back from them after I submitted it. But of course, there's a lot of tornado damages home, so I think they were maybe dealing with that. Mine was minor compared to some of the other things they had to deal with. So. But if I had to get the radio replaced, then I wouldn't have fared out as well. But because I got it fixed, then that was at least a bonus on my part as far as what I got reimbursed from Allstate.
Yeah, I think usually my understanding is that if you send it to a service center, and you've got a written document from, let's say, the service center that says, yeah, this thing is basically unrepairable, essentially, right? As long as they have that document, the insurance company usually will cover the replacement cost of the item. So that's my understanding. But yeah, you got to go that extra step. You got to try to get a service center to give you some kind of documentation that says, yeah, this thing is toast, and there's no hope. And then yeah, I think the insurance company would probably cover that within whatever the range of your policy is. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, is whatever your coverage is.
There was something in the policy there that I read, and I forget what the numbers were. If it had to be replaced, and if you couldn't get the original and had to upgrade to something newer or different, I think there was some compensation towards that as well.
The VFR on 20 after.
KB2 UKA.
Well, I've been fighting a cough here, guys. I don't know. I got a bit of a chest cold, I think. So I think I'm going to call it a night and go watch some TV with the wife. And you guys carry on. I'm going to cut the stream here, and you guys carry on, and we'll catch us probably in the morning. This is Victor Alpha 3 Kilo Bravo Charlie.
Good night, DJ.
All right, good night, DJ. And I did get your email, so I'll check out the link and look into all that. Thank you.
Okie dokie.
All right, good night, DJ. I'll talk to you in the morning, probably.
Hasta la vista.
See you later, DJ.
And one MJ.
See you later, Rick. Live long and prosper.
I think I heard Matt in there. Good evening, Matt.
Good evening, sir. Yeah, I've been sitting here for a while, working on other things, and now waiting for food to get here. Just ordered some dinner for the wife and I. How's everyone doing this fine Saturday evening?
I am doing marvelous. Absolutely marvelous. How about you, Matt?
I'm doing all right. Getting some projects done. Hoping to get my camper back this week after being in service for, I think, 7 months now? Yeah, 7 months. Basically the whole summer it's been in service. But prepping for that, and I don't know. That's about it, I guess. But you still working on all the projects around the new place, I imagine?
Well, it's coming to an end, really. The last thing, the painter came this morning to give me an estimate on just painting the main portion of the basement. It's all done. It's all finished. It just needs the paint. And he's going to call me Monday with that price. And then that should be done. He said he could start at the end of this upcoming week. So that'll be done in like 3 or 4 days. And then we're really done. The only other thing I have to do is put a movie screen down here and install a projector. That's it. We are done. You know, and then next year we have to start doing some of the bathrooms, but that's not going to happen probably till next summer, the earliest. We blew a lot of money here in the last 2 months. I got to remake it now.
That's what it's there for, though, I guess. I guess in the end it's good to have the investment. I mean, anything you put into a house, usually you can get most of it back, you know, if done well. But anyway, I put a link in your chat there for the eHam reviews on ham radio policies. While your homeowners may cover most of it, the benefits to those are the lower deductible, and then you don't have to worry about your homeowners actually going up. So there are some benefits to getting the more dedicated ham radio coverage. And like you said, it's dirt cheap. There in the group.
Yeah, that's what I would do. I would go with a third-party insurance for it. It's got to be very, very inexpensive. And that's a good point. You don't have to put it through the homeowner's claim. Because if, you know, knowing these homeowners policies, if it, let's say it's a lightning, my foot slipped. Let's say it's a lightning strike, they're going to say, what antenna? What do you mean you got hit by lightning? We don't know that you have an antenna. And then it's just going to be a whole bunch of crap.
Yeah, exactly. These insurance companies, they at least, they understand the hobby. They understand us.
Did Richard ever come back in? He said nope.
I haven't heard him.
I think Art said he was coming in around somewhere around this time, 8:30 or something like that.
What was that?
Oh, I was saying I think Art said he was going to come back in around 8:30 or so.
Yeah, he had to serve his wife. I mean, eat dinner with his wife. He should be back after that.
Yeah, he should be back soon.
We can only hope he'll get it before Doug gets the 3 knocks on the ceiling.
We're, No, I made it clear tonight. I'm down here for a little while. KB2 UK. Damn it, I keep slipping. KB2 UK on the side.
Obviously, she's not nearby when you said that.
I'll be right back. My dog needs to go out. I'll be right back. KC2 QMA.
Yeah, go take your dog out and then come back, John. Okay, so we can talk. Catch you in a bit.
Hey, Mike, you around tonight? KG2, Mike?
All right, there we go. All right, who signed? Did someone sign or John just stepped away?
He just stepped away from it.
I'm drone shopping right now.
Oh, why shop for them? Build them. They do more when you build them.
Really? Well, I'm looking at this DJI Maverick 3. It can hold 2 pounds because I'm going to use it for antenna deployment. So I'm going to bring up a 12-ounce weight, which is obviously less than 2 pounds. But I wanted something that gave me some headroom in the weight.
If you're looking to do things like that, that's more DIY, I would say. And I only say that because, I have a DIY one that I built many years ago now, 5-6 years plus. It's a meter around. It's got 6 propellers. The propellers are 13 inches wide. It's got about 1 horsepower of accumulated power between all 6 motors. It'll deadlift, not saying it'll fly, with much controllability, but it will deadlift about 40 pounds. It'll fly, 2 batteries bigger than, bricks. It'll fly for all of about 2 minutes with that, but without any weight, flies for like 40 minutes. The DIY ones, if you look up the flight controller is really the heart and soul of it. The best flight controller they have is called Pixhawk. They have full autopilot, you name it, everything that the DJIs don't. And there's just a whole lot more options. And when I say build it yourself, there's a lot that just come as kits. They come as the motor, the frame, the wiring. You just put it all together, plug it into the computer, and start, working with the flight controller.
And I'm assuming you're spending less money that way also?
Well, when you're looking at the kits, that all depends. Because, some of the kit ones, like I said, are a meter around. It, depends on how carried away you get it with the parts. But, yeah, you can get one for relatively like, $500 ish for the whole kit. But another thing is once you have the controller, you only need like one controller, the transmitter. After that, if you build another one down the road that's totally different size, shape, weight, whatever, you just buy another receiver and have a different profile on your same transmitter. So building your first one costs more than all the consecutive ones.
All right. Well, I want to use this for quick deployment, so I'm probably just going to buy one. Though it would be fun to build it, but then that adds a month to the project.
I will admit that even with the medium-sized copters, I've tried flying them up with fishing line. You get them 50, 60 feet of fishing line underneath them, and they do get a bit sketch on controlling, fine control. So just a heads up. But when you're looking to get the deployment thing, let me know. I know there's a few eBay links that I have saved for the drop mechanism with the servo.
Yeah, I was looking at some of them on I was looking at some of them on Amazon for like different specific models, and they seem relatively inexpensive, $45, $50, and it appears some of them work off of the camera lens. So I guess you go to take a picture, and that activates the relay. Does that sound right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Because I mean, the picture button is really just a momentary switch. So on the receiver side, that is basically just shooting a signal to one pin.
All right, so I think this DJI Maverick 3 is going to be it. Out of, it's $3,000. I could finance it here for like $20 a month. That's probably what I'll do. It gets less noticed that way. So I found this website that rates all of them, and it's got this one listed at a 2-pound payload. So if I take the 16 ounces in a pound, so if I should be able to fly, I would think 200 feet holding 12 ounces. What do you think?
I wouldn't see why not. The problem with them, of course, is judging them gets a little bit more difficult with weight, because, it's got no friction in any direction. So, you just make sure before you start flying it over the tree, you fly it with the weight around first for a while, which I'm sure you'll do anyway.
Okay, and then to your point, you've used fishing line. I was going to use very light arborist rope, which is what I use now. It's that yellow, very slippery rope. So, so you take the 12 ounces of the weight, you fly up 200 feet. Now you've got 200 feet of rope underneath it. That's obviously adding more weight, correct?
Hey, Doug, take a look at Rumble, M4VFR.
What's on Rumble?
You got it's a deployment system.
Payload airdrop release for Maverick DJ3.
Yeah, you want to use fishing line too, because even the fishing line, you can't just weigh the fishing line and have that actually be accurate. Because of the wind friction that it's adding underneath it, it's actually kind of countering a little bit of your upwards thrust. So having something thicker like a rope or an arborist rope, something like that, I'd imagine would add a lot more drag. So even if you have, say, 5 pounds of rope under it, it might actually be 6 or 7 to the craft because of it's pushing on its own rope.
Yeah, and I'm going to check out that Rumble. That was my concern. I've watched videos, and the last video I watched Oh, what kind of rope did he use? He didn't see. The problem is the fishing line gets caught every time I use fishing line. And this time I'm going to deploy the whatever I'm using, rope or line. This is going over the canopy of the tree. So I'm trying to get it up 80 feet, which is about the height of these two trees. So when I drop it, oh, well, wait a minute. This is what he did something different. He didn't drop it. He flew up the tree was about 80 feet. He flew up about 200 feet and then flew over the tree and came down while the rope was still attached to it.
Hey, Doug?
Yeah, Dom.
Don't you have the big shot?
Yeah, I don't think I could get over the canopy.
Well, use a lighter weight. Which weight are you using?
Well, it came with two. It came with 12 ounces and I think 16. I'm using the 12.
Well, if you need to, go lighter. And you use it, it's got a yellow rope on it, right? That plastic yellow rope?
Yes. That's the arborist line.
Yeah. Well, how far are you getting it down? Do you have the trigger? If you have the trigger, you got to get past that 4-foot section. You got to go about 4.5. It's really hard to pull down, but if you get that trigger down there and pull the slingshot down past the 4-foot section, it should go up there about 150 feet.
All right, well, I have the trigger. I never use it. I don't have it installed. Maybe I'll give it a shot. Maybe that's what I'll do. Oh, boy. All right. Yeah, I'm not going to order this thing yet. I keep saying I want to wait till March, but I know like there's going to be a November day where it's like 45 degrees and nice out, and I'm going to want to go out there and try it.
I was going to say, let me know when. I'll give you a measurement of how far down my trigger is. And with the lighter weight, you should be able to get to go over the canopies.
So, the 12 ounce, when that thing goes over the branch, man, it comes down. Okay? I'm worried if I go and buy like a fishing weight, like a 5 ounce, it's just going to dangle there and not come over.
Well, they got smaller sand weights too, but I would probably go with a lighter weight. So you're saying 12 ounces is too heavy, so get an 8-ounce weight or get 8 ounces. You could do it with a sack of pennies if you wanted to. If you got a scale, make an 8-ounce weight out of a sack of pennies and just use a plastic bag and tape it up real good. Then use that as your weight. But yeah, that thing should go way over the canopy. If you get the trigger is definitely a plus, because then you can sit and aim it too.
All right. Well, since I have it, I guess I'll give that a try before I do the drone. How about that?
Down, because when you're flying it down, the rope's going to want to come right up into your props.
Yeah, yes, it will. It will want to do that. So he was showing you a way he rigged it to prevent the rope from going up.
Yeah, the only other thing would be if you flew way past the tree, came down a little, and then came in towards the base of the tree.
So you go up the tree, and then you go way above it, and then maybe you fly to the left 30, 40 feet, and then zoom back into the tree.
Hey, Darren said, did you look on at the link?
Oh, that's what he meant when he said Rumble. No, I'm going to look now. KB2 UKA.
10-4 VFR.
Yeah, for $100, I took one of those bead blaster things. It's a compressed air tank for blasting beads on rims. Bought it off Amazon for $99. Chopped the little nozzle off, stuck a 2-foot piece of PVC and a rubber adapter on it, and that thing launches over any tree with only 20, 30 psi, and it's rated for 180.
Well, yeah, that's an idea too. Darren, this is the one I was looking at. Yep, this is exactly what I would use. Something like this.
Take a look at the maximum payload. They say 200 grams, so I gotta convert that to ounces.
Yeah, so that's less than half a pound. That's 0.44 pounds. So, I couldn't do 12 ounces. Even if the damn drone can handle it, the release won't.
W4D1.
I just put a link in the chat to the device I made. It went down in price. It's $70. So that means after you buy the fishing reel and the piece of PVC pipe, it's 100 even.
All right, yeah, I'll take a look at it. But Dom's right. I've got a 8-foot long slingshot on an 8-foot pole. The head's got to be like 8 to 10 inches wide. This thing works. I guess I just you know what, Dom? I just never tried shooting it over the canopy. I'll give it a shot.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the trigger is definitely going to be below the first section. I think as hard down as you can pull that slingshot, and then attach it to the trigger. What's neat about the trigger, it makes it very simple to aim and shoot. You can even hold it like a rifle.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. Yeah, so I'll give it a try. I have the trigger in the box. It came with the kit. I just never used it. So, but the other thing, but maybe I won't need as inexpensive of a drone. If I could get the lineup without the drone, I need the drone to fly the antenna wire over all that rough in the woods to the other point. That's what I really need the drone for.
Oh, yeah. We'll get you one of them chain stores and cut you a path.
Well, I have a chainsaw. I cut down like 4 trees back there myself. They weren't huge, but I had to take them down. And then I had a pole saw, because then when I was pulling the loop up, the wire would get caught on a branch. I'd have to go trim that branch. And it's a 40-foot pole saw, but let me tell you, when you have it extended 40 feet, that is not an easy job.
Oh, I'm talking about cutting it down at the base. If it's just regular overgrowth, like 3 inches or less on the trunk, I would just get me one of them little chainsaws and go to town on the bottom there and just cut them all down.
Yeah, and I did that to a few. Of them. But and then I have just trees laying over out there because I'm not chopping them up. We're going to clear it all out there someday. Whoever goes out there to clear it, they'll have to chop it up. So Darren, well, where are you receiving me right now? What QTH are you at?
I'm receiving you via the West SDR in Philly, and I'm transmitting remote control from Denver at the hotel. Tomorrow I get my type rating for Boeing 737. So I'm studying a little bit. I'm feeling good about it, so I decided to get on the radio to ease my mind.
Well, that's great. I'm sure you're going to do fine. That's awesome. And where am I hearing you from? You're remote, but which station? The Florida station?
Yes, sir. I'm offering remote control stations in Florida and on the ICOM 7610 with 1,000 watts of power on the RF2KS.
All right, Roger. Well, I've got you S8. S8, no problem hearing you. Are you able to hear me in Florida?
Let me turn up the volume of my receiver. Go ahead.
All right, this is KB2 doing a quick signal test with N4 VFR, visual flight rules. And we're seeing if he could copy me at his Florida station while he is remote in beautiful Denver, Colorado. KB2 UKA.
Well, Doug, my mom has a TV on because I can see it in my waterfall here. And the noise is S9 plus 10 of the noise, but I hear you in there. It's kind of weak on me, like you've always been. I'm not sure. I don't have a good location for receiving signals, only strong signals, like Dominic. He's always coming in pretty strong, like S9 plus 10 and over.
All right, Roger. Well, you heard me with that much noise, so I'm satisfied. That's great, Darren. Thank you.
Okay, Roger. I'm listening, guys. I was listening. I'm studying still, but I'm having fun listening, doing multitask. So this is N4 VFR. I'll be on the side with you guys. Thank you.
All right, Darren. Well, good luck tomorrow if I don't talk to you again. And like I said, you've got it.
Kilo Delta 1, Golf Alpha.
Kilo Delta 1, Golf Alpha, KB2 UKA. Good evening. Kilo Delta 1, Golf Alpha, do you copy KB2 UKA?
Oh, somebody's tuning up. Maybe that's him.
One Golf Alpha. Hey, Vincent, do you copy me, Darren? N4 VFR.
Yeah, hey, sorry guys, not sure what happened there. Amp just reset. Yeah, I'm copying both of you real good. It's Kilo Delta 1, Golf Alpha. Name's Vin in QTH, Apex, North Carolina. Go ahead.
All right, Vin, Roger. This is Doug, KB2 UKA, Long Island, New York, 50 miles east of New York City on the north shore of the island. Signals are not that strong on 80 tonight. Everyone's pretty much the same. I've got you about 5'9", Q5 copy. Normally North Carolina would be like 15, 20 over. How are you copying me? Over?
I'll be right back, guys. W4D on.
All right, Dom.
Wow, Dom's strong, as always. Yeah, I'm copying you. Pretty much the same, Doug. 5'9". Earlier, I took the dogs for a walk, but earlier you guys were all 20 over, so band's changing a little. It's not that strong, but Q5 copy, no problem copying both of you guys. Go ahead.
All right, Roger. I don't know. I think it's getting shorter, which is kind of the opposite of what it normally does at this time. Hear you fine. I don't have my logbook up. Have we spoken before? I'm looking at your QRZ page, and let's see. What are you running? You're running a 7000. I'm running a 7000. You got a Mercury. I'm running a Mercury, though. I'll be running a VK3 amp in about 2 weeks, 2 kilowatts. It should be here in about 2 weeks. And the antenna is a 320-foot horizontal loop up 50 to 65 feet, fed with true ladder line down to a junction box where I split the ladder line to two separate runs of LMR 400 where I'm only utilizing the center conductor, and then I run that into the shack, and I connect the center conductors to a balanced Palstar tuner, and I shunt the shields to ground on the back of the tuner. Over.
Ooh, I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, Doug, we've worked a couple of times. not too long ago. What was that? Yeah, back a year ago, almost to the day, October 25th. Yeah, no, it's that's cool. With the new amp, yeah, I'm running a 7000, and the antenna here is just, I'm on the off-center fed dipole. It's been a weird day. We lost internet. The fiber to copper converter for my modem died, so I got to wait for AT&T to get out here tomorrow to fix it. So that's where I'm at. But yeah, we've worked a few times. Yep, I got a 7000. I'm kind of stuck running at Protocol 1. I got a little bit of RF in the shack, and Protocol 2's not liking it much. And just ordered a Hermes light and with a filter board and all that good stuff. So I'm going to play around with that when it gets here. But you sound great. The other gentleman in there, I apologize. I had something going on in the amp. For some reason, tripped off. But hopefully you guys are copying me okay, KD1GX. Oh, what I wanted to say. Yeah, so I was on 40 earlier, and it was the exact opposite of the way 40 usually is. It was like short and long at the same time. So definitely weird band conditions. Kilo Delta 1 Golf Alpha.
Well, my buddy Andy across the pond, I'm on a YouTube, we're on YouTube right now on a live stream. He just wrote that 10 minutes ago we got hit with a CME, a small CME, but we got hit. That would make sense on the conditions right now. So there you go. And Matt, I see you got to run. Enjoy your dinner. I just had mine around 8 o'clock. KB2 UKA. John, did you make it back? Nope. Well, Vince, so if we spoke last October, then I was on the Sun SDR then. Maybe I might have been on the 7. No, I don't think I got the 7000 until. Well, let me think. It would have been the June or July of 22. So yeah, I was on it. Okay. So I got the second chipset. So it's still branded Mark II, but it's really a Mark II and a half. I don't know if you have the same one. This one is the one where they made 4 different versions of Protocol 2. They made an A, B, C, and D version. And we just moved here. We moved 1.5 miles away. So in March of this year, I finally got Protocol 2 working. And then I went off the air in April for the move. We had to sell my other house. And right before I went off the air, I developed a weird audio artifact. I thought it was a ground loop. It was not a ground loop. I ended up wiping Thetis. It wasn't Thetis. I fully wiped it. So I reverted back to Protocol 1, and the issue went away. So I've been on Protocol 1 ever since. I got the station set up again about a month ago, and I hear that they resolved the issue with all the new chipsets in Protocol 2. So I think I'm going to give it a shot again. Over.
Oh, Doug.
Oh, wow, Frank. Wow.
Yeah, Doug. Yeah, I've got the 3, so my chipset is the 3. I've only tried one Protocol 2 version, and it's the one that's on the community, on the Apache community. And
what's up, Frankie?
I tried it, and I had no luck at all. I mean, it was fine on receive, but transmit, I was getting all kinds of weird stuff. Same as you, I was getting artifacts on transmit. It was overflowing. and I really thought it was RF, and I did some things to get rid of the RF. I went back to Protocol 2, and I was still having issues with it, so I'm kind of convinced it's a timing issue. And as you know, if you got like 2.5, I got this radio in February, I want to say, February or March of this year, and with all the it was right before they discontinued it, and with all the COVID stuff going on, who knows? But I've got some things I'm gonna do to really isolate it and make sure I don't have any ground loops in the shack, and then try it again. But Protocol 1's been rock solid for me. I've actually been able to use it. And there was another gentleman in there, I think, breaking, so you can go ahead and pick it up. This is KD1Gia.
All right, KD1 didn't get the call there complete. Good evening. Norway 2, Queen Fox. Name here is Frank. November 2, Quebec Fox. And what's going on, Dougie? What's happening, buddy?
Oh, wow. Your audio sounds phenomenal, Frank. Marvelous. Solid 20 over. You would normally be 30 to 40 over. I'm hearing on the live stream that I see you checked in. Andy said we got hit with a CME about 15 minutes ago. Most of the signals are down. Like Vince is in North Carolina. He should be 20 over. He's like 5'9" to 5 over, and you're 20 over. You should be 40 over. How are you copying me?
Good. You're like 20, 25 over, man. Needle's always north of 20, so at the very minimum 20, 25. So doing good, man. Sound good. So strange to hear you out here at this time at night. I'm not used to it yet, so. But you look really comfy in your, what the hell is that? Looks like a Halloween shirt, but looks good.
KC2QMA.
The whole Jersey crew's here now. No, this is a, well, first of all, I'm wearing my Fright Fest sweatshirt from last weekend when we went to Fright Fest in good old New Jersey. And then the chair is a beautiful Lazy Boy office chair, only the finest at KB2 UKA. And Frank, the house is so big now that I could hide down here and she has no idea where I am.
Yeah, tell him you're running out for milk. What's up, John?
Hey, what's happening, Frank? And yeah, now, Doug, you can crank up that subwoofer and you don't have to worry as much.
Oh, well, when I'm streaming, I have the headphones on. So, but yeah, when I'm down here and I'm not streaming, I've got, and by the way, John, that matching subwoofer for the Personas monitor speakers, it's phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it just extends that low frequency down nice and low. Nice, it gives you a nice, good, broad, frequency response. Yeah, good evening, Frank. Good signal. I got you at least, I would say 20 over. Yeah, 20 over and sounding good.
Yeah, Roger. Okay, real good, John. You're like 30 over here, so fans are cooking, man. It's not too bad. 80 during the day, no bueno for me in the early morning. Signals are hit or miss, but come nighttime, everything settles down. I think my antenna's too high up sometimes, but it works.
Oh, you sound good here. Hello, Frank. W4 dealer.
Hey, Dominic, Esserice. Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Not much. Coming in strong, loud and proud.
The nighttime is the right time for 80 meters.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. You hit 30 over that time, Frank, so maybe it's already settling down.
We don't need no stinking CMEs.
No, we don't need no stinking sunspots.
I got your CME right here.
Right in my Johnson Max box.
Yeah, let's get the Heath kits out and go to town. Frank, I'm surprised you. I don't know if you know this, but there's been like this crew on 7222 now. It's all Hermes guys and Anon guys, and everyone's yelling at each other about Thetis, and we're all talking about the VK3 amps that we're getting. You should hop on there. It seems to be most popular, I'd say, around 4 or 5 o'clock.
Hey, Dom, I got a question.
I just choose not to partake.
Have you heard me on there?
Question.
What?
But all this SDR, Anon, Flex stuff, do you ever want to just throw up?
No, I enjoy the conversations. I know more about it than I think most people that haven't.
If Dominic ever switches over, he's got like a wealth of stored knowledge in there.
Earlier in the year, he helped me with Bootloader to upgrade firmware. He was telling me exactly what to click.
Yeah, there's zero learning curve.
Art there, he's the actual genius to it. But I have Thetis on my computer. I can't, it doesn't. I don't have a radio, but I can go through the program.
Well, Frank, what 7000 are you running? Are you running the Mark III or the Mark II.5?
Who?
Frank.
Well, I was originally running the original Mark II, which is now in a box sitting up in my closet, thanks to good old Mother Nature. But I'm running the 2.5.
All right, you're running the one that I'm running. And the other gentleman on frequency, Vince, he's running the 3. And I am under the impression that since I've been off the air, they have perfected Protocol 2 for our radios. Is that true?
No. Not for my 3.
What about for yours, Frank?
I got to be honest with you. I have no problems with mine except with pure signal once in a while. But I'm still, in all fairness, running 2.9.19. I haven't made the switch yet. Not because I don't want to or I'm worried. I just, honestly, I'm lazy and haven't gotten to it yet. But for what I hear, our versions, the 2.5 version, seems very, very stable on the latest Thetis.
All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm just going to do it. If I got to go back to 1, I'll go back to 1. But last time, in order for me to even get it to work, I was using version Charlie. And I know now they just have one version, I think, on the community page. But I had to wipe Thetis. I had to wipe it out of the registry. I had to wipe open HPSDR. I had to wipe it all. And then I had no Thetis on the computer. I opened up Bootloader. I installed Protocol 2. Then I reinstalled Thetis with Protocol 2 on the machine. And then I turned the machine on, and I let Thetis go through its sequencing, and I got it to work. What I was telling Vince, and I think you'll remember when I had that weird, minus 60, minus 55 dB carrier at like 2 hertz, that was a Protocol 2 issue. When I went back to Protocol, we thought it was a ground loop. When I went back to Protocol 1, it was gone.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, man. Interesting. Yeah, I hear some stuff. My buddy was having some issues, but I think that was related to his, he might have had RF because I think it cleared up. But I got to be honest with you, the only issue I'm having is with pure signal only when it first starts, but then it pretty much calms down. But yeah, I remember your situation, Doug. I didn't know it was software related, so that's really wild.
Yeah, so it was happening line in, it was happening VAC, it was happening no matter what I did. No microphone connected directly to the radio, rack ear, no rack ear, and then I said, screw it. I went back to Protocol 1, it completely went away, and then I had to take the station down in April to get the house ready to sell it.
Now look, ta-da.
And here we are.
Sorry, I doubled. I'll be right back. Just grabbing a drink.
All right. Well, Frank, before you go, I think I'm going to get out of here. We were in Manhattan all day. We got home at like 6:30. We got in at, what time? We got in at 12. So a long day in the city. So I'll say 73 to you, Frank. John, 73. Vin, 73. Dominic, 73. I think that's everyone. John, why don't you take it and I'll listen out.
All right. Well, 7-3, Doug. Yeah, it's good to hear you. Good signal, as usual. Everything seems to be working pretty good in your new location. It's nice to get things set up and things just kind of work for the most part. All right.
All right,
no
guys.
problem.
You guys have a great evening.
I know Frank said he had to step away. He was getting a beverage.
Have a great evening, guys. Oh, what's
and
up,
Dom
Carter?
is still in there. So I'll
They can
pass
hear
it over
you.
to you, Dom, and see what you got going on.
Not on the radio. They can hear you on the stream. Hold on. I'm saying goodbye. I'm coming up.
Doug, get you tomorrow. And Darren's in there, too.
That's right, Darren. You need to go to sleep. You got a big day tomorrow. 73, Darren. And Frankie, if you made it back, 73.
Yeah, 7-3, Doug. Sorry, I wanted to jump in there before I bailed. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, guys. Take care. KB2 UKA going clear. All right, and everyone on the stream, say hi to Carter.
All right, 73, Doug, and 4 for
Carter, say what's up.
See, Doug, KD1GA.
All right, and now